you've been keeping it on the hush for a little while, for a few months, but officially you just recently announced the deal.
Yeah. Signed to Warner Brothers. Yeah, man. It's all good.
For those that don't know as well, man, just like give us a brief history into the musical life of Smiler.
Well, my journey started properly in 2005. I dropped my debut underground track, Neighborhood. Went on to work on a mixtape, my debut mixtape, The Musical Omnibus, which was mixed by DJ 279. Went out to America, came back, plugged some tracks from the mixtape. 2010, I dropped Clarity. Went away and worked on a few things. 2011, I was on Radio 101 Extras Hot for 2011 with my track Spender featuring Lana Del Rey, which recently caught a fire. Signed with Warner Brothers towards the end of 2011, and beginning of 2012 I've dropped All I Know.
So you got the big deal at the moment with Warner Records. You've been signed officially since September. Yeah. But it was only announced recently, and you've been on the independent hustle for a little while. Yeah,
you know
about
years,
the independent game.
Yeah,
just break down the difference of how it is for you now signing, to the major label and stuff.
I think whereas I would have been so hands-on with a lot of the stuff in my campaign prior to signing with the major, now the workforce has increased and there's a lot more people that tasks have been delegated to, and that actually take care of a lot of the things that I was doing myself and my management were doing. So it's just, in effect, it's a bigger team.
You happy? You're proper happy with it?
I am, yeah, man. Like the team I'm working around, everybody's enthusiastic and they believe.
Do you feel like the time is right? Because a lot of people like to talk when a new artist gets signed, whether they're big or whether they're lukewarm or whether, whatever the situation is. But surrounding your names, quite a few people have said, wow, it's happened out of nowhere. It's happened quite early. It hasn't had a lot of material out. Yeah. How do you feel about those remarks?
It's cool. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I feel, those that have said something of that nature don't know my history. So it's cool. I can live with that. Because all that's going to happen is they're going to go and do their own research and realize that I am actually 3 mixtapes deep, and I have done, a lot of shows and been around the country and been out of the country and really been on my grind for a long time. So, yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, from where I'm sitting, ends are really kind of put you on the map. Yeah. Make people kind of stand up and pay attention to Clarity mixtape as well. Yeah, definitely. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, it made me appeal to a more mainstream demographic, and put me in front of people that the Musical Omnibus didn't put me in front of, and really opened a lot of people's eyes to what I was bringing. So yeah, man, I definitely agree with that.
So you've been official for a long time now. When I say official, I mean you've always been quite serious and constructed. Yeah. With your approach, you're very business orientated. You don't mess around. There's a lot of artists that don't know how to carry themselves. Right. And I want to ask you, was it always the plan to get signed to the major?
Yes, it was. I'll be honest with you, I didn't always have it as clear cut as it's been recently, but I knew that I had a big plan, and in order to take it to where I'd need to take it to, I would need to be part of a major organization, but I didn't know who or when. But yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people are just really not, as I said, I'm privy to the fact that I've known about you for a nice while now. And I know that you're serious when it comes to the rhymes, with the art form. We respect all of that, man. But how would you summarize what type of MC Smiler is?
Smiler's a very descriptive MC. I like to paint pictures with poems. I like to keep it intricate and very, very clear. I pride myself on clarity. I mean, it's always nice when somebody rewinds one of your tracks and say, what did he say there? Because, they didn't get the metaphor, but I don't want it to be for any other reason, they can't understand what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, that's me.
You own a business as well, right?
Yeah.
You still own a business?
Yeah. yeah. I do, yes.
You're an entrepreneur, man.
I like to think that I'm trying. Yeah.
How much of that would you say that you carry into the music industry?
Everything. I mean, the music industry is very much based on people's skills as well. Not from a pretense perspective, but you treat others as you like to be treated. I say in the last track on All I Know, be real to the people on your way up, because if you slip, it's them that will catch you and make you stay up. Do you know what I mean? I think it's imperative to almost solidify good relationships along the way. You can never really walk away from someone and know how they feel about you, but if you've done your part and you're cool with people, do you know what I mean? And at least you're covered. You've done your part. So yeah, I think it's everything. You do definitely take what you learn from business into other businesses, into other walks of life, and things you learn you don't tend to, forget.
And you was recently on the Mobo tour, man. How was that?
That was one of the best experiences of my career, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, it's my first official tour. My first time actually going all around the country for one purpose, and it allowed me to express myself and try out new things, connect with different audiences, and I had a product to promote. So, I gave it 110%, and I got back 110%.
Has that somehow like sort of made you? I know it wasn't a festival, but it was like a, a nationwide tour. Has it made you some sort of like get a taste for the festivals? Because sometimes it's not really thought of that the rappers like to get on the festivals, but nowadays a lot of rappers like to get on the festivals.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I love the live circuit, and I've done Tea in the Park, I've done Wireless last year, just prior to my deal, and I love the festival vibe. I'm just looking forward to jumping on bigger and better stages, and exploring my career and really taking it to new heights. Yeah.
And I'm sure quite a lot of people have asked you this question, and everyone's aware of it, but the UK urban scene at the moment is very healthy.
Yeah.
And aside from that, like the rap scene as well is getting a lot healthier.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I feel great about it. I mean, there's a lot of talented individuals that are really making their mark, and primarily everybody's different. A lot of people may seem the same, a lot of urban MCs, but when you really sit down and listen to styles, Tiny doesn't sound like Wretch. Do you know what I mean? And Sway doesn't sound like Biggs, or do you know what I mean? Everybody's bringing something different to the game, so I think it's a great time.
And it's also the season that a lot more lyrical MCs are getting the spotlight now.
Yeah, most definitely.
Getting the spotlight, they're getting signed. A lot more realer MCs are getting deals.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot more grittier music is coming out. How do you feel about what's really going on now? Because like it's like a kind of evolution, and the prior artists are giving the next artist an easier time. Like, because maybe sometimes people would say if a Wretch 3-2 didn't get signed, maybe a Smiler wouldn't get signed.
Yeah, no, it's real. Like, I fully agree, and I believe that everything goes round in cycles. And I think it is fair to say that if Tinchy or Chipmunk didn't come at the time that they did, it may have been slightly different, or it may have been a little bit harder for the more lyrical MCs to be digested by a mainstream audience. Because naturally you have to seed it in slowly but surely, and take nothing away from Tinchy or Chipmunk, anyone like that, but Wretch is more lyrical than the both of them, so naturally they've almost paved the way for him to come through and really explain what he's about and be accepted. So I think it's
saying
fair.
that though, because you're quite a lyrical MC yourself, are you ever scared to really fully go in? Do you sometimes feel, you know what, man, I need to press the compromise button on that, or maybe need to like ease it in a bit more?
Life's all about compromise, no matter what you do. So I feel, especially if you're trying to make a career out of something like music, if you know that you have a talent and you're very lyrical and you appeal to, on the grand scheme of things, a small demographic that really appreciate your art form, in order to tap into those that don't understand it, you're going to have to compromise your style slightly, but how you do it determines how you're perceived by the public afterwards. So
how do you feel that maybe Smiler might make that compromise?
I feel I could still be lyrical, but I feel because I pride myself on clarity, and my diction's pretty clear, not a lot will go amiss. So I don't think I'll have the greatest problem. Yeah.
So the mixtape's out at the moment. All I know, it's your third official mixtape.
It is, yeah.
How's the feedback been so far from your corner?
Honestly, it's been overwhelming. It's been phenomenal. I mean, naturally, when people are going to come and tell you something about something that you've done, they might be a bit OTT in terms of like the praise, because they might tell you what you want to hear. But I like to think I don't have those sort of people around me. The mixtape wouldn't have gone out if my team weren't happy. And the feedback from the general public, and when I did the tours, and people that have actually gone online and researched what's going on, downloaded the mixtape, they send me not just one or two, but maybe 5 or 6 tweets about it. So that's not something that can be faked. Do you know what I mean? So I mean that the genuine reaction feels amazing. Make room for the new school.